The US presidential election 2024 in spell dynamics terms. Which candidates are centered in which spell dynamics colors? Hello, this is Shores of Infinity with a video about the US presidential election 2024 as an example of spell dynamics. Both the parties and the candidates can be categorized into spell dynamics colors. So let's have a look. Most parties and most candidates are either centered in blue or orange in most countries in the US as well. So you kind of have the choice between blue-orange Republican candidates and blue-orange Democratic candidates and parties. Both parties are a mixture of blue and orange, so you can choose between kind of the same, between pest and cholera, and kind of have to look which is the lesser evil of the two. It's a bit sad to choose between two corrupt parties, but that's how it goes in most countries. Apart from the two big parties, the Democrats and the Republican, which are both blue-orange, there's the Green Party, which has one candidate, Jill Stein, and there are two candidates without party, Robert Kennedy and Reverend West. I know the video would be much better with pictures, but for copyright reasons, I will not include any pictures or demographics and all kinds of news media copyrighted material. For the Democrats, we have Biden, the present president, who is mostly orange-centered, and also what he stands for. Then there's Phillips, also mostly orange-centered. For the Republicans, the ones who are left are Trump, Haley, and Binkley. Trump is more orange-centered, Haley and Binkley are more blue-centered. Blue means conservative, to make sure that everything stays as it is. Orange means more industry and capitalism-centered. So if you want to vote at all, if you want to vote for one of the big two parties, you have the choice between orange and blue. And the certainty that nothing much will change because they're both very establishment. Then you have Jill Stein, who runs for the Green Party, but she probably doesn't stand a chance. She's kind of greenish, orangish. And then there's Cornel West, a philosopher and theologian who runs without party. He stands for another kind of blue. Blue can mean conservative, but blue can also mean religious. He stands for the religious blue. And then we have Robert Kennedy Jr., who used to be Democratic Party, but now he runs without party. He's centered in green. And also what he stands for. So the most progressive two are the Green Party candidate and Robert Kennedy. So for those who always claim that most people are centered in green in countries like Great Britain and the US of A, you will see in the election that the two green candidates will not win because there are not enough people centered in green. Most people are centered in blue or orange, so they will vote for blue or orange candidates. Green means revolution. Green means change. And most people don't want change. They want routine. They want peace. And blue promises this. Blue promises peace. Everything will stay as it is. Well, orange promises prosperity, which is always nice to have as well. But people don't realize that both blue and orange, they will further elites. The old elites or the new elites, doesn't matter. It's in favor of the elites. of the ones who already have a lot. I can't think off the top of my head of any party, of any candidate in any country, in any democratic country in the world, in history, where a green candidate ever won a presidential election. Or prime minister or chancellor, whatever it's called in your country. Has never happened before. Not even in the Netherlands, Denmark, Scandinavia, the most progressive countries. Not to my knowledge. Orange, yes. Green, real green, no. In Germany, for example, the Green Party is very powerful now. And the vice chancellor is of the Green Party, but he is centered in orange, not in green. And the Green Party also slipped back into orange. It's not a real Green Party anymore. Green people don't get elected because they promise upheaval, turmoil. Most people like to play it safe, so they want to vote blue or orange, even if they claim differently. So I'm not saying here that any candidate is better or worse. I'm just putting them into their spell dynamics terminology. Nor is any spell dynamics color better than another. They just have different advantages and disadvantages. Of course, there is no second tier candidate, no yellow or turquoise candidate. Those, if they exist, then they never make it into the last round of any elections. Although Kennedy probably has the potential of moving on into yellow. The big question is for people who are spiritually inclined, do I vote at all? Is it worth voting? It's not really a question of voting left or right or green or alternative. It's mostly a question, do I vote at all? And there are good reasons for voting and good reasons for not voting. There's the age-old question since ancient Greece, since the first democracy in history, or in recorded history in Athens. Usually people who should be politicians don't want to, and usually people who want to be politicians shouldn't be. Plus, of course, to run an election like this, you need funds, especially in America. You need funds, so either you're very rich and you have people who support you. And most of those supporters, of course, see some kind of advantage in supporting certain candidates. Most money comes from industry, and these big companies, they will not support anyone who wants to change stuff. They will support someone who wants to keep them in power and influence. So it's quite amazing that people like Kennedy and West are still in the race, that they haven't dropped out yet, because they're definitely anti-establishment. Let's see what happens this year. I just wanted to have a quick look into spell dynamics, one of the practical aspects of spell dynamics, how you can use it in politics, for example, or sociology.